next day, I wake up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Oh. Sleeping late is fine since it's Sunday and there are no classes. Not just a Sunday though, with the festival as well. From my window, I can already see some people at the soba booth slinging noodles onto the plates for people with a craving for low-quality food. I throw back a handful of my morning meds and ponder how to spend the day. There will be a few exams in the coming week, but I consider those as ominous as others, so I'm not worried about them as I probably should be. With no urgent obligations regarding education, I should be free to spend the day at the festival as I like. Finishing my morning routine, I exit the hallway intending to go out and find something to eat. Passing by his door, I decide to see what Kenji's up to today, out of impulse. I'm curious if he has any plans, since everyone is doing something. Then again, I can picture him having built a soundproof shelter by his room, or possibly something like a fort complete with a "No Girls Allowed" sign, and with the girls crossed out with "body" crudely scrawled underneath it. Knocking on his door, which is luckily devoid of any kind of sign. I hear an unsettling clicking of at least 10 locks being pulled back. The doors open a crack. Who is it? You're supposed to ask that before you open the door. Oh, it's you. Damn, it's early. It's not really that early. What is it, man? Nothing. I'm just gonna ask what you're going to do today. Half the school is out there already. Out? Where? Why? What? What? Is today special? Why are they there? Who are? I can hear them. It's loud. Don't tell me. Has the invasion begun? He suddenly looks more alarmed. What day is it, man? Yeah, I guess you can't see a big wooden booth outside and people selling stuff. What the hell are you talking about? I have my curtains closed at all times to thwart the snipers. It's the festival. You know that, right? Oh shit, that's today? Damn it. I can't believe I forgot. I don't have my fort finished yet. This is bad. This is gonna be a very bad day. It's good you told me this, man. This is gonna be a bad day. Why? Oh man, they're gonna be everywhere. The people outside my window, socializing. Kenji rubs his temples nervously, suddenly looking very ill. It's gonna be loud as hell. Damn, and I was gonna go out today, but now it's ruined. Everything's ruined. This is awful. This sucks. What the hell? This really sucks. I can't go anywhere now. There's nowhere to run. Kenji seems nervous. You can say he's majorly freaking out. I can't believe this. So that's what today it was. Damn, I couldn't even prepare for it. I couldn't even brace myself. And now it's here, I can't do anything. You should have told me earlier, dude. I mean, at least I know, but I could have known earlier. Imagine what I could have accomplished. Sorry, I thought you knew. So I guess you're not going to do anything today. The weather is even good. Yesterday was really windy, so I thought today would be cold. It's not though, so there's no reason just to stay inside. Yeah, you should check the festival out. Kenji groans and covers his face with his hands. Ah, no, I can't do it. They'll eat me out live out there. I know it. It has to be a joke. But he said it was with such a straight face, relatively straight. What are you gonna do? We should hang out in here. You can help me build my fort. We might still make it if we work together. I don't know, I'm pretty hungry, so I thought I'd get some food first and then check out the attractions. Your class project seemed pretty cool and I gave you a hand with it, so I want to see at least that one and chat with Lily, I guess. Speaking of that, don't you have any obligations for the project? Are you out of your mind? The blind broad is up to no good. I can feel it in my spleen, man. Her presence is like a dark shadow that's in the way of my great vision. As expected from blind people. What? Besides, I thought you were also... He holds up his hand to interrupt me. Only legally. Metaphorically, I can see farther than any man before me has seen. Kanji looks stoically into metaphorical distance to emphasize his statement, thrusting his chin forward to look manlier. Actually, it's just the corridor wall 2 meters away, but it's all the same. I can see the future of mankind in its dark one, unless the threat of women is still stifled. They are everywhere. He fingers his scarf nervously, faster, like he's trying to start a fire, and slowly begins to calm down once the panic attack finishes running its course. I'm gonna find some place to hide in, a safe haven, and then knock the lights out of myself, so I don't have to experience this horrible day. I had the perfect thing for that. I must prepare now. Don't go to the festival. Okay. Later, dude. The door slowly closes with a low creak, and I don't know how to feel about what Kenji just said. After buying a plastic plate of takoyaki from a stall belonging to the class next to ours, I take a seat in the school garden and watch people pass as I attentively nibble away at a rather bland-tasting item. That sucks. I guess I shouldn't complain. It's better than nothing, and didn't cost much. As I look out towards the school, watching the people coming and going proves a surprisingly entertaining way of passing the time as I eat. Little children, accompanied by parents or grandparents, scamper about in the gym from event to event, one hand dragging the company and the other bearing an oversized colorful snack. I can't help but notice the age range among the people here is skewed towards the elderly, something I'd also noticed when I was walking around town. This must be one of those towns where the only people left are those that lived here, and their whole lives are ardently refused to leave, and those wanting to live out the rest of their days in one of the increasingly few tranquil places. I guess that's also a way to explain how how conservative Yamaku's school culture seems to be. Not that I mind one bit, I kind of like how Yamaku and its surroundings are. The heat, though, is another matter entirely. Sitting in one place for so long has focused my mind on how annoyingly humid it's getting. Now that's the hottest part of the day is here. I better get moving if I Gah! Sound of the Carillon bells takes me completely by surprise as I stand up, a reaction shared by a few of the people strolling around as well. The PA system crackles to life as the tolling bell ends. Its age shows as the principal makes a barely intelligible announcement over it, officially opening the festival that's very much in full swing. It's quite amusing to contrast the pleasant smiles of the older folk against the alternately pained and bored grimaces of their younger charges. The students, on the other hand, seem to pay it little heed. Nevertheless, as the address finally ends, all are united in polite, if not overly enthusiastic applause, and then get back to business. Slipping a hand in my pocket to look as relaxed as possible, I casually glance around for something to do. It's somewhat difficult to see very far with all the people around. I decide to fall back on a tired and trusted rule and go where everyone else seems to be gathering right now. Right now that's the school courtyard and surroundings. Throwing the used plate in a trash can, I make my way towards the school building. Seeing a number of stalls around the perimeter of the school building surprises me. Quite a few of the classes must have opted to have multiple stalls. Deciding to which to visit first, I catch sight of a film-related banner with a blue pattern border and red text. Lily's stall is as good a place to stay as any. I'm curious as to how it's going. After all, after all of the work she and her class have been doing for it. I can't talk anymore. Stepping up to it, I begin to see why the class took so long to organize everything. Easily twice as wide as many of the other stalls, and with equipment for cooking strewn everywhere, it was closer to an outdoor restaurant than a festival event. As a student in front of me takes a bowl of noodles and leaves, I walk up to the counter. The girl behind it seems exasperated and asks me to wait for a moment before she disappears underneath the counter. Seizing the moment, I take a quick glance around. Steam seems to be rising from everywhere as pots and pans simmer away. The most blind of the students are unpacking ingredients while being helped by someone who is probably the teacher of 3-2. It doesn't take long to notice Lily among them, talking with the teacher as she quickly counts the boxes and packets with her fingers. From her expression, the fact that both she and the teacher seem to be in a state of mild confusion, it appears that there's been some problems in coordination. Before I can stare any longer, the girl behind the counter pops up again, only to look back and ask where the spare change box is. Lily pauses for a moment before she and the girl switches places at the counter, and the teacher quickly walks off somewhere. Sorry about that. We're having a few problems. What would you like? It takes me a few seconds to remember where I'd come here for. My eyes quickly dart to the side to read the menu sitting on the counter. Oh, I guess some miso soup. Ah, is that a sow? Yep. Looks like you're pretty busy. Her face all but confirms it as she drops her waitress facade. Somewhere along the line, our order got mixed up. We're trying to fix it now, but it looks like we only have half of what we needed. Wouldn't serving smaller portions cover over the problem? It seems like that's what we'll have to do. Though I wish we didn't. The fact that a good half of our class is gone doesn't help either. I glance behind her to see how many people are actually operating the stall. It couldn't be over about 8. I take it that's why your teacher's left? That's right, she's going to try and round up a few more classmates to help. Hearing the sound of footsteps behind me, I stealthily glance backward to see an elderly couple taking a place in line. I guess I better stop loitering around and chatting. Here's the money for the soup. Soup? Oh, right, coming right up. Lee turns and calls for a bowl of miso soup as I hand over the money for it. Taking the coins in her palm, I can't help but notice how efficiently she counts them out in her long pale fingers. Eventually satisfied that I've handed over correct change, she puts it into a small metal tray. It isn't long before the soup is made and carefully handed to her, after which she turns and subsequently passes it to me. Thanks, I'll come back to drop off the bowl. Thank you, Sal. Oh, there's one other thing. Have you seen Hanako? Hanako? No, not today. Why? She gives a small sigh of abject disappointment. It's okay. I was just wondering what she was doing for the festival. You'll come back when you're done, then. Sure. I'll keep an eye out for Hanako, too. Thank you, Sal. I walk off from the stall and find a seat, carefully cradling the streaming wooden bowl in both hands. Compared to the dumplings from before, this is quite nice. A little cool compared to what it probably should be, perhaps, but the flavor is enough to cover for that reasonably well. As I drink, I can't help but feel somewhat guilty for not being as involved in the festival as others. Well, Sal, you had the choice to help out, right? You had many choices, actually. Many opportunities. I can't really be helped considering I was dropped in school only a week ago, but it still weighs heavily on my mind. That and the fact that a few students don't really seem to be enjoying the festival as much as the visitors. Eventually I finish my bowl and leave for the stall to drop it off. Considering that there seems to be no line at all, I take my time walking up. It seems the teacher's mission's paid off, and there are now over a dozen students helping, and much of the unpacking has been done. Despite most of them seeming quite relaxed as they work, Lily still appears somewhat stressed. Lily doesn't look impressed at all, and I can't really blame her. On top of her issues with her stall, she still seems to be worried about Hanako. I can't really help her with the former, so I guess the only way I can help is by trying to take her mind off our shy mutual friend. Placing the bowl back on the counter, I call out to Lily. Hey Lily, don't worry about Hanako, I'll go find her and hang out with her, okay? I can see Lily's relief plainly written across her face. Thanks, Isao. And if you see anyone from my class, can you tell them to come back here, please? Will do. Have a good one, and make sure you take a break, okay? I will if I can. See you later, Isao. Why don't you, go check the mural out? You helped with that, remember? You helped make the mural with Rin. I leave Lily in the stall and head out to search for Hanako. I also helped gather material for Shizune and Misha for whatever they needed. In a way, I feel bad for leaving her with the crowds, but even though she was clearly under pressure, I can't help but think she's enjoying herself. The halls are packed with swaying crowds meandering throughout the festival. If there's one thing I know about Hanako, it's that she's not going to be anywhere near this. And with the students showing their friends and family their dorms, I doubt she'll be there either. Following blind intuition, I move against the grain of the crowd. Thankfully, this crowd seems to be slightly less festive than the usual festival crowd. I assume this is our consideration for a student body. As I force my way through the masses, it doesn't take long for them to thin down into nothingness. This is not surprising since I'm standing before the library. Even the most eager of students don't bother to show anyone the section of the school. As I enter the library, the noise of the festival fades into a dull background noise, and soon I'm in the reading area at the rear of the room. Behind one of the partitioned desks, I see the top of the head, with straight dark hair catching my eye. Hey Hanako, I had a feeling I'd find you here. The head jumps a little in shock before slowly peeping over the partition. Hey, Sao? Hey, Lily's been pretty busy, but she sent me to find you. Oh, do you want to sit down? Actually, I'm feeling a little hungry. Would you like to get something to eat out of this? Wait, hold up. Okay, let's remember what you had here, Hisao. You had takoyaki. As soon as you left, you had takoyaki. I think you had dumplings, for some reason. And then you had miso soup. That's 3 things, at least. You can't do this. You're not hungry. You can't be hungry. I brought some food too, so I shouldn't be surprised, but it was worth a try. Expecting her to go outside today was a long shot. And you're only lying to yourself because you're not hungry at all. How about we eat in the tea room? I passed by it on the way here, and no one was around. We can make some food there, and it'll be a little more comfortable. What do you say? I said, sure, let's go. Hanako closes her book and puts it away with deliberate and practiced movements. Good to go? Yeah. We walk side by side from the library to the tea room. As expected, there's barely a soul around. If it weren't for the murmurs through the walls, you wouldn't tell that there was a huge festival going on outside. Hanako carries her bag in both hands and focuses on just the floor ahead of her. Every now and again, she seems to break her pace a little and steps in a slightly shorter pace. The first time it happened, I gave it no mind, but I soon noticed that she does it on a regular basis. Are you alright? She stops dead in her tracks. Well, what? I don't know. It looked like you were tripping or something. You tripping, girl? You tripping? A pink blush rises into her cheeks and as her gaze returns to the floor. It's nothing. You know, when you say it's nothing like that, people are inspired to ask further questions. For a second, I don't think she's going to answer. Prepared to leave it be, I almost set off walking again when... It's a game. Game? Do you see the floor here? What a bizarre question. The floors look like just any other floor, covered in those tiles made up of squares of linoleum. Nothing noteworthy. Well, yes, what about it? Sometimes, when there's no one around, I only step on the dark one. I do that too. I got you. Hanako's voice trails off as her explanation continues, until I barely hear her voice over the roaring silence of the empty hall. Darker ones. Shelving her feet, Hanako points the toe of her shoe as a towel that is barely a shade darker than others. Well, like this one. Like these ones. Alright, so these are no good? I point out to the nearby towel. Yeah, something like that. Well, I see. Do you play this game a lot? Hanako shakes her head. Just when the halls are empty. Just when... Oh, sorry, that was me. Just when the halls are empty. She nods. Well then, no point in stopping. I'm beginning to get really... She nods again, this time with a little more enthusiasm. That's a cute game. Well then, let's go. We set off down the hall, and this time I noticed Hanako was paying a little less attention to the floor. I wonder, just how lonely does someone have to... Okay, now you're... How lonely does someone have to be to come up with a game like that? Are you calling me lonely, Sal? Remember, I could kill you at any minute. Before I realize what I'm doing, I find myself trying to aim each step so it lands on the correct tiles. Yeah, you better. Sal, you better. The noise of the festival is slightly louder than inside the tea room. But, okay. Without thinking, I walk to the windowsill and inhale deeply. I sometimes forget how clean the air is here compared to back home. Dude, would you like some tea? That'd be great, thanks. It occurs to me that this is the first time I've been alone with Hanako without her trying to be somewhere else. Turning from the window, I watch as she makes a simple pot of tea and arranges some of the sandwiches onto a plate. I've seen her do this before a number of times, but this time she seems slightly different. It's like she is... calm. Eventually, she places the small tray on the table and pours 2 cups of tea. The fresh scent of brewed tea mingles with the breeze, and for a second, I feel like I'm the only one in the world. I think I know why you like this room now. I don't know what you mean. Well, there are quite a few people out there, but in here, it's like another world. You can pretend that there's no one around for miles. You're right. It's like the world has forgotten this room. But because of that, you can forget about the outside. That'd be appealing in some cases. Oh. Oops. As far as I can tell, conventionally, bullying doesn't exist in this school. But then again, I haven't seen a single person talk to Hanako besides Lily. If you're ignored by the world, a place where you can forget its existence would hold a special appeal. That's a good point. It's like this room gives you some kind of complete freedom. Yeah. Say, do you play chess? Chess? I played it a bit, I guess. I take it you've played before. A little. Without saying anything more, Hanako moves to one of the cupboards and digs out a small chess set. I'm trying to remember. Do you want? Sure, why not? Didn't we watch her play before? I don't think we did. Maybe I'm thinking about before. I cut her off before she doesn't seem to mind. But she doesn't seem to mind. We arranged the pieces, and before long we were sending pawns charging to their inevitable fates. I take my time and intently examine each move and its consciousness. Nostalgia for the game taking second place to the matters at hand. For time, this game is a lengthy battle and attrition. I spot an opening and tear a line in their defense. A few moments later, our king is cornered by several of my pieces. Checkmate. You're not bad at this, are you? An honest appraisal. Her technique is pretty good, but several times I was able to exploit her lack of prediction. I pick up a piece and examine it. Looks relatively new, yet worn for its age. I guess not. There's a lily. Okay, we haven't seen. I guess I was thinking about before. Like before this read through. The absence of Nako's answer caused me to think about my question. A bit. Also, Lily's blind, so that's why he paused for a bit to think about it. This is the first time I played against someone other than her, or she cuts herself off abruptly, leaving the answer hanging in the air. Someone she knew before coming to Yamaku, maybe. You know who that is, right? That's really sad, actually. Well then, I'm honored to play against you. Can we play again? She asked as if she were to cut off her own hands. The spirit of competition's gone into her. Sure. Don't expect me to go easy on you this time. Not that I was before, mind. She seemed to appreciate the competitive tone. Same here. As we are setting up the pieces, there's a noise at the door. Okay, what I was talking about before. Obviously before Yamaku, she was getting bullied by people from her old school. So she wouldn't really have any friends. And before she got the scars, would be before the fire, which would mean before her family died, which makes me assume that she played with her family, either her mother or father, which died in the fire. Good afternoon. Lily. Oh, hey there, Lily. Are you finished? You both are here? Wonderful. At any rate, our teacher managed to round up some extra help, so I was able to leave. Have you been here since you left? Pretty much. We've just been playing a bit of chess. Would you like a cup of tea? Actually, I think it may be a good idea to go outside for a little while. The instant drop in Hanako's face shows her objection to this plan, even though she says nothing. I feel strangely compelled to voice what is plainly in view of her face, but Lily can't see. I kinda think we should stay here. Really? It's so crowded here that I was thinking we should leave the school and head to the local tea house. Oh! You mean the Shanghai? Of course. With everyone at the festival, it should be practically empty. Tea house? Oh, that's right. You probably don't know any of it. There's a tea house not far from here. What should we go to every so often? It just sounds like a plan. Hanako, what do you think? Whoa. Hanako jumps a little at being forced into the conversation, but at least she seems a little distraught than before. If it's to Shanghai, I think it'll be nice. Well then, it's settled. Let's be on our way. Hanako rises from the table in her preempted chess game. Before I can do anything, Hanako poured the pieces in a small container and placed the board away. Looks like we're ready now. Please lead on. Aww. Hanako moves to Lily's side and we ventured onto the school's corridors. The pair leads me through a series of unfamiliar doors, and we emerge on the outside of the building opposite of the festival grounds. Insulated by the heavy stone of the building, the noise from the crowd has faded to a murmur. Strange. I thought that most people would be beginning to leave by now. They're probably here to view the fireworks. Oh, whoa. Fireworks? Yes, apparently the school puts on quite a show. A lot of people come from town just to watch them. Lily's decision to leave the school grounds seemed to make sense now. Hanako would probably have a hard time with the whole town descending onto the school, or ascending as the case may be. Dude, I haven't seen fireworks since I went on a trip to... Actually, was that the last time? For the second time since arriving at Yamaku, I find myself walking down the road with Lily. Only now that I can barely hear the incessant noise of the festival, do I realize how loud it was. I can hear my ears ringing slightly in the still evening air as I recover from the days of sold on them. Naoko clings to Lily, but still manages to guide her along the road. That, and avoiding the occasional gazes from curious pedestrians, appears to completely sap her constitution. She rarely raises her focus from the ground in front of her, nor does she utter a word. Lily, on the other hand, maintains her prim and proper persona, just as she does in the school. It's obvious she purposely puts effort into her appearance rather than hiding it, as Hanako does. It's striking how different they are in their way of holding themselves outside of Yamaku's grounds. That said, it's obvious in both their cases that they do visibly change. Inside Yamaku, everyone is special, which negates the specialness of it. What the? Why is it like this? Wait a second, what? What? But once we venture outside the school gates, we are returned to the status of outsiders and generic labels. Especially when we are still in our school uniform. It's like hanging a sign around your neck challenging people to figure out what's wrong with you. I'm surprised that so many of the students keep it on. Then again, with canes and wheelchairs common among the students, I guess it's not really that much of a giveaway. Or maybe I'm the only one that sees this as a stigma. Maybe you get used to it after a time, like any other school uniform. Alright, I guess it was just for that part. The tea house seems familiar standard from the outside. Just an ordinary building with typical signs decorating the entrance. It looks like the type of place you'd walk by without a thought. Just another generic cafe in a sea of thousands. If Hanako hadn't steered Lily into the entrance, I wouldn't have counted on down the road without even knowing that it existed. Inside the tea house, it takes on a more traditional feel. Everything seems to have been made from the same lump of timber, from the counter and the benches to the high-backed booths around the walls. But the most striking feature of the room is the lack of life. I think I can faintly hear something bubbling away in the background, but otherwise the room is silent. Without any direction, we simply wait near the entrance, politely obeying the please to wait for the seated sign. Is the place closed or something? Oh. The sound of a chair falling over echoes throughout the empty room, and a head shoots up from inside the booth. I wasn't asleep, and welcome to Shanghai. Yuko, dressed in a pastel apron and clutching a menu, rushes to greet us. Her misaligned glasses or nerfled hair cast suspicion on her previous statement. She was sleeping. But whether she was asleep or not isn't the first question that leaps to my mind. You work here now? What happened to the library? What? Lily? Sao? Well, welcome to Shanghai. What? She dropped her glasses. Hugo, still waking up, jerks into a violent bow, dislodging her glasses in the process. What? My glasses! I pick up her spectacles off the floor and Lily offers an explanation. Yuko works here part-time as well as the library. That's one of the reasons we like to come here. No, I should probably... Yeah. Yuko takes her glasses from my hand, shakingly putting them back on. Yes, that's right. Thanks. Shall I show you to your table? There's no one else here, so you can choose your table and order whatever you like. For there may be a delay, as I will have to make it myself. That's alright. Yuko. It's alright, Yuko. Just a pot of black tea and a plate of sandwiches will be fine. We'll have it black. Right, I'll get right onto that. Yuko hurries off the back to the Yuko hurries off to the back of the cafe, leaving us still standing at the entrance. She pushes the swinging half doors open before realizing that she hasn't seated us. I'm sorry, please sit wherever you like, I'll be right back. Following her advice, I lead Lily to the nearest booth as Hanako follows. As I begin to sit next to Lily, I realize how appropriate this place is for Hanako. The high-backed booths totally separate you from the rest of the room, and it doesn't look like it gets all that many customers. All of the furnishing from the cushions of on the benches to the condiment holders look dated but aren't overly worn. I wonder if Lily deliberately selects places like this to take Hanako. She seems like the type that would go to lengths to cater to Hanako's unique predicament. So Sal, I didn't know you played chess. Well, not very well, but I do know how to play. What does that say about Hanako, Hisao? You beat her. What does that say about Hanako? I suppose the obvious question would now be, who won? Lily's innocent smile makes me hesitate. I don't really want to look like I'm lording my victory over Hanako. It's outed. Yes, but not by much. Damn. Saying that out loud makes me feel like I've done something terrible. You did. I'm getting more and more ashamed of you, Sal. Well done, Sal. You accomplished something I've only ever failed at. Thanks. I haven't played in ages, so it felt good to play again. Yes, it did. Naoko fidgets with her hair a little and looks away as she replies, but a small smile emerges. It's a little more extreme of a reaction than I expected, but still kind of cute in that Hanako way. It throws me a little off guard, and only Yugo's cataclysmic re-entry shocks me back into conversation. Are you right there, Yuko? Do you need a hand? I'm fine. I have to do this properly, it's my job. Concentration plays across her face, while she stares at the tray in her hands, as if simply looking at its contents will hold them in place. Sadly, this doesn't prove all that effective. The cups and saucers slowly dance around, occasionally clattering as they collide with one another. Taking great care, Yugo sets the tray down on the table with only the subtlest of cat crashes. There, see? Well done? Thank you, Yugo. Yugo's head rockets downward in her distinctive bow before answering. You're very welcome. Would you like to join us? There's something else I'd like to discuss about the recent order, if I may. Ah, that's right. Lily and Yugo discussing a pile of books when I first met Hanako. Something about Lily helping with the braille. Ah, yes. We didn't get the chance to go through them, did we? Yugo hastily sits down next to Hanako. Apparently, dedication to this job only goes as far as her concentration. Once it is broken, she suddenly loses it. I'll be in the library tomorrow afternoon if you'd like to try again. That sounds perfect. I'll meet you there after class. Lily. Oh dear, that's right. Tomorrow is Monday. How could I have forgotten? I'm starting to feel a little left out of the loop here. But then again, that's to be expected. I have been here for barely a week, so it's impossible to know everyone's schedule. Well, perhaps we could come to some other arrangement. Yuko, will you be in the library later in the week? Maybe, but this is already overdue. And there's some things I need. This might be a problem. Lily pondered for a second before discussing the answer. I wonder, will we be able to enlist the help of another, if need be? To do what? You lost me quite some time ago. Being volunteered for something without even having the slightest idea of what is going on isn't really my thing. And here I thought I'd finally escaped the clutches of student council and the repeated attempts to recruit me. Oh, of course. The other day I was helping Yuko to sort out new braille books in the library. But Hanako and I usually go shopping on Monday afternoons. It's quieter on that day than on weekends. Last week we couldn't go because I was busy with the festival. I managed to slip away later in the week, but Hanako couldn't make it. Well, since I can't read braille, I'm assuming you'd like me to go shopping with Hanako. Correct. You were a great help to me the other day. I think you can handle that. Hanako, what do you... Oh, sorry. Oh my god. Holy... I would... if you wouldn't mind. Of course not. I'm still not familiar with all the stores in the area. So it sounds like a good idea. Oh, okay. I think we just got, like... whatever. Now that we have that arranged, shall we have some tea? It's now that I realize our tea has been sitting idly by all this time. It's getting no hotter. It's my fault. Let me pour that for you. Yuko reaches out her with shaking hands, but I intercept her. She looks in no state to be handling hot liquids. That's alright, I've got it. Since you already made the tea and sandwiches, you fulfilled your waitress duties, right? I guess. Yuko relaxes a little, but still watches eagerly as I share out the assortment. As I am about to bite into the sandwich, a loud rumble can be heard along with the flashes of light from outside. Ah, I take it. The show has started. Only now, looking outside, I realize the dusk has come and gone, leaving us in the peak of twilight. Sparkling tracers arc towards, ready to explode. In the floor shape of fireworks. Let's go watch. Oh, sorry, Lily. Poor Lily. Please, don't miss the show on my account. From what I've heard, This isn't a bad location to watch them from. Wow. With the exception of Lily, we rushed to the window of the small tea house to watch the show. The strobe of colored lights play across Hanako and Yuko's smiling faces, and for a second I forget to look outside the window. In this totally new world, there are a few things that don't change. I think that's why the school makes such a fuss over the festival. It's a chance to show the similarities between everyone. The show is over all too quickly. Fireworks are expensive even for the most well-funded schools. I think the last time I've seen fireworks was when I went on a trip to California or LA. LA, Los Angeles, whatever. Before we return to our tea and sandwiches, Hanako turns to me. Thanks for today. And tomorrow. Ooh, that's okay. I don't think that I could have faced those crowds either. On days like this, it's more relaxing to spend some time away from everyone, don't you think? Yeah. Anyway, we've been dealing with this tea for far too long now. Let's get back. I said, sure. We returned to the booth of our light meal. That sounded impressive. Bigger than last year's, at least. Yeah, it was great. I've never seen them put on such a show. It gets better every year. I'm afraid, however, that during that time, the tea has gone cold. Oh no, let me make some more. This is my fault. Calm down, Yuko. It's nobody's fault. I take a sip from a cup just to prove the point. The tea isn't too that cool anyway. It's like an iced tea. Really? Yes, really. If you add a bit of sugar, it's kind of nice. Are you sure? I'm positive. Now why don't you just sit down and we'll finish this together? No, okay. Yuko doesn't seem convinced but sits down regardless. She carefully measures out 5 teaspoons of sugar and adds them to her tea. I said a bit of sugar. I know, but I like my tea sweet anyway. Curiously, I peer into her cup. As expected, hardly any sugar dissolves in cold liquid. She stirs it twice before upturning the cup and drinking the contents, sugar and all, in a single mouthful. You're right, that's not bad at all. Good. I look back to Lily and Hanako, both of whom had finished with their meal, and as I witnessed Yuko's personality in action. Not wanting to hold anyone up, I used her tactic and finished the remainder of my tea in a single swallow. Well then, it seems we are all finished. Should we head back now, or do you want to wait? Do you want seconds? Yuko's expression shows that this is quite clearly not a good idea. I think that it would be best if we get back soon. We don't have to get back before we do have to get back before curfew after all. Oh, that is a good point. I'll meet you tomorrow, Yuko. I'll be looking forward to it, Lily. Goodbye, everyone. We make our way out of the small tea house. What? And into the dark of the night. Lily and Hanako once again take point, but under the cover of darkness. Hanako seems Lily slightly less stressed than she did on the trip here. We move again on the occasional group of people emptying their school grounds, but Hanako seems to lead us along with a few minor roads, avoiding the bulk of the school crowds. Outside the dorms, the school seems strangely quiet when compared to the noise of the day. Well then, thank you both for today. I think I learned a lot. You're most welcome, but I'm afraid that I must be going. Today's been a long day. That's right. Lily we've spent all today on our feet, and I can't imagine that walking outside the school would be pretty tiring for her. I feel a pang of guilt as I remember that I was probably the only one in school that got up around 10 in the morning. Sure thing. Well, I'll see you both tomorrow. Good night. Good night, Hisao. Night. The girls returned to their dorms, and I to mine. Actually, now that I consider it, today tired me out as well.